How's it going, everyone? Freems here. So today we're going to talk a little bit about net neutrality and how net neutrality affects the UK and Europe. Hopefully it will give some of you a little bit of a better understanding if you don't know about it. And yeah, there's a big hot mess going on in America right now around this, and it came up a few years ago. But if you don't know what net neutrality is, it's basically the principle that your internet service provider, the people you pay for your internet, can't act like a cable company. You know, they have to provide you with a fair and open platform in the sense that they can't restrict access to certain sites based on their own interests, or charge you extra for that because they feel like it, basically. You know how cable works, where say if you want the Discovery Channel, you have to buy 50 other channels that you don't want. That's kind of what can happen with the internet, or at least where it could lead. They're not promoting that that's the kind of thing that can happen, but that is the kind of thing that happened. Imagine going over to Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram one day, and then you get a notification saying, sorry, you haven't paid for our social media package, please bugger off. That is the kind of thing that can happen. But I'll get a little more into this in a minute, and how all of that is just a horrible decision and what I personally think about it. But I want to kind of address how this affects the UK and how it affects other parts of the world. And the short answer is, it shouldn't. As much as America's changing their laws and have their own laws in place regarding net neutrality, so do we. And they are separate laws. Because they've changed their laws doesn't mean they can change ours. So for it to change here, they'd have to edit the laws in this country. And I suppose each country has this law in place that can be messed with. And it's, you know, entirely up to that country what they do about that. Now, obviously, we're not a part of Europe anymore. We had the European laws because Europe has its own law regarding net neutrality. Because we're not a part of Europe anymore, those laws, I think, have got to be revised, which means that when it goes through that, they can change bits of the law without even telling us, apparently, or at least I've read somewhere. Hopefully they won't do that. Hopefully we'll just sort of employ the law that we've had with Europe before and keep it that way. And I think that's probably the way it's going to move, at least with the UK. If you're in a different part of the world, you might want to look up what your country's law is regarding net neutrality, because it does differ slightly in different places. But the real disgusting thing that's going on with this is basically that they're saying, if you want to comment on this, here's where you can go, and they're basically giving you links to follow and numbers to call so you can give your public opinion, at least in America, about net neutrality and whether you think it should or shouldn't be changed. There was a big scandal that a lot of the comments that were coming through saying that they don't want the laws to change were fake, and that's probably due to the immense mass of comments they were getting saying that they don't want these laws to change and they should stay the same because it's a good system, and basically American citizens don't want to get robbed even further. You know, which is obviously a serious matter. You got to protect your income, man. Ultimately, this decision comes down to the FCC, nothing to do with the public, which sucks. Probably not the best idea to tell the public they can have an opinion of this and then just completely ignore it. I think that they're more than likely going to throw this law out. And the reason I think that is because this actually came up a few years ago, that they wanted to repeal these laws or change them so that internet service providers could do these things that I'm talking about. And there was a massive uproar about it. It didn't happen. President Obama came out and said that he didn't want it to happen. I think that was a massive help for the situation. Whereas this president this time around, not commenting on it by the looks of it. I tried to do a little bit of research, and it seems like any time you try and look for information about Donald Trump, about his opinion on this stuff, it just comes back to how he appointed the person who is trying to get rid of these laws, okay? And he's pushing so hard that he wants rid of them. This man, I think is it Ajit Pai? I think it's him. He is very quickly becoming the internet's most hated man. And if I was him, I'd probably be worried for my safety, man. I mean, people are going to hate that guy so much if these laws change. He's pretty hated already, but yeah, I can see the meme warriors coming after him for years to come. And then the ISPs will block access to Tumblr to block the memes. So yeah, this whole system is a bit of a joke. and nobody wants these laws to change. I think that anybody who does want these laws to change is probably pretty misinformed about the situation and what's actually going to happen, or they stand to profit from it changing, you know. And that's a sad time. It just shows that the government doesn't really care about what the public thinks, and they're really public about that too. Like I said, there was a massive scandal about the amount of fake comments coming through saying that they wanted these laws to change. Research was done on a bunch of those comments, and they found that they led nowhere to, like, no one. That people, there's no people behind these accounts and stuff. It's all fake accounts. That who's making these accounts? Have you literally got a Jit Pie sat behind a computer creating fake Hotmail accounts to, like, send in these comments? Have a little Google search, see what you can find. It's more than likely that you have your own laws for your country set in place. My thoughts go out to the Americans, man. This is not a good move for American internet. And I suppose some people are worried because a lot of websites are governed by American laws because they're American-based websites. But again, really, the connection to those sites is what stands to change, I think. I don't think that, you know, access to YouTube, because it's an American site in the UK, if you're in the UK trying to access American sites, I don't think that should change too much. How it may affect me personally is the fact that obviously I make monies off the YouTube, and if less people can access YouTube, obviously that's going to mean less people are going to be able to access my content for free. They may have to pay more to get to anyone's content on YouTube, which again, terrible idea. I can almost guarantee if they change these laws right away, nothing will change, and they will try and shove that in everyone's faces. They'll, you know, be like, oh, see, we told you nothing has changed. We changed the laws, but keeping the internet the same. But if they do change things, like say if they start slowing down access to certain sites to try and promote other sites, or to make people pay more for faster connections to get access to those sites, they'll do that over time and very sneakily, to try and make more money off of citizens. And that's really what it comes down to. But they would never paint it in that light. That is literally the only positive reason for them to do this. For them. Only positive for them. Nobody else. Nobody wants to pay more for things, but they'll find very clever ways to do that. If you're looking for more information on net neutrality in America and you want to try and help any way you can, I would advise going to look for Markiplier. He has a video out. I think if you just type in "we need to stop this," you'll find his video, and he has a lot of informative. He has a lot of information over there on that video with some links for you to contact the right places within America where you can give your opinion. But like I said, it's a sad, sad day when it seems like the American opinion is manipulated this much and means that little to the government. I suppose it's nothing new, but come on, man. Why say you can give us your opinions here if you're more than likely just going to not pay attention to it? My fingers are crossed. My fingers, eyes, toes, and everything else I could possibly cross are crossed for America and my fellow American brothers. I really hope that these laws don't change, but my personal opinion is that nothing anyone says is going to change anything, and it's going to change because that's what they want. They wouldn't bring up these laws again if they didn't want to change it themselves. They just leave it alone when they know, because they know everyone's happy with it. Everyone's happy with where it's at right now, and they're saying they're trying to help areas that don't get any internet get more internet. How is charging people more and slowing down speeds going to help that? Short answer, it's not. Much love, everybody. Hopefully this video helps you understand net neutrality. Like I said, there's a couple of videos around if you feel like I haven't given you good enough information. There is I think there's a video called Net Neutrality in 1 Minute. Make sure you check out I'll try to link Markiplier's video below because I feel like he has very good points that he makes in that video. Definitely worth checking out. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, and until next time, take it easy.
As a gangster, fam. Trust me. I may have lied to you.